You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You made Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show on fire-tv.com. Hashtag the Diamond K Show. A lot of things to get into today. A lot of things that I have on the docket to talk about. Can Marilyn Mosby get a fair trial in Baltimore? That's a question that I have right now. I mean, of course, conservative media, Fox 45, and other right-wing outlets pouring it on. Why they pouring it on Mosby? Because she brought charges against police officers. I mean, that's the reason. But anyway, we're going to talk about that today. Can she get a fair trial? The Tyre Nichols funeral was today. We're going to talk about that. Baltimore Police Department released surveillance video footage of the suspects in the fatal shooting in West Baltimore that happened, and two people in the car killed and some kids injured. They released some surveillance video of that. We're going to talk about that. Biden says that the COVID-19 emergency is over. COVID-19 emergency is over. That's what President Biden said. We're going to talk about that. Also, the FBI, according to Biden's attorneys, have found no classified documents at his beach house. Now, of course, there were classified documents a lot of other places, but none at the beach house, according to his attorneys. And Governor Wes Moore of Maryland, his State of the State address, he had his first State of the State address. That went down. We're going to talk a little bit about that and what can we expect from the Governor Wes Moore. I'm definitely excited about the possibilities that exist with the new governor. Also, the retiring, finally, he says that it's official, the retiring of Tom Brady. That happened finally. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Of course, if you need to get in touch with me, djdiamondk@gmail.com, djdiamondk@gmail.com. So, Marilyn Mosby. Last week, the judge allowed Mosby's defense team to withdraw from the case. So you might say, "What? She don't have no lawyers now? Like, what is going on?" So let's break this down a little bit. The judge in the case said that there is good cause to allow all of the defense attorneys from Reed Smith to withdraw from Mosby's case and granted this motion. So they said there was no conflict. Federal prosecutors said that they were fine if the lead defense attorney, A. Scott Bolden, withdrew. But said that others needed to stay on because their excuses weren't good enough to cut them free, and the withdrawal was going to cause more delays. So the prosecutors was like, okay, A. Scott Bolden, he can go, but these other ones need to stay because they want to get her to trial. They wanted to have a speedy trial, according to them, right? Now, it was obvious that this was going to destabilize things a little bit. What the defense is contemplating is that they got to hit the reset button, right? You got to start over. Got to bring in new attorneys and this whole thing. Judge said that she understood. He said that they've delayed the trial 3 times, perhaps a 4th time. The delay is something that the judge, I don't know, she probably don't want to do it, right? She's not really welcoming this. Latest trial date is for March the 27th. So the public defender's office is supposed to appoint an attorney to Mosby's case and schedule the hearing, which is going to be on the 3rd of this month, to discuss the actual schedule, how that's going to be impacted, how they're going to proceed. And I mean, there has been so much hoopla, so much back and forth, so much craziness. That's why I'm asking, can she get a fair trial in Baltimore? A lot of the mainstream news outlets have been flooded with all of this, dirt, throwing dirt on her name consistently. Can she get a fair trial? I don't know. I think that a lot of folks' minds may be kind of set in a certain way. It's like if Sheila Dixon was to go on trial, talking about, I don't know, gift cards, it would be kind of difficult for her to get a fair trial here because people have been inundated, and constantly hit over and over and over again with certain things. Certain things that may not be true, but they hear it so much that they may believe it. And these are going to be people that's going to potentially be on a jury. So I ask, can Marilyn Mosby get a fair trial in Baltimore? So last week, her entire defense team filed a motion to withdraw from the case, citing conflicts of interest. So it's going to be a public defender. She had all these attorneys. All of these attorneys. So A. Scott Bolden, who is, that was like her main attorney. And what's so ironic about his situation, he kind of explained what his conflict was, saying that the judge is considering criminal contempt charges against him. He's going to probably have to defend himself. So the judge is not happy with his conduct during the case so far. And he feels, and I understand this, that he can't defend himself and Mosby too. And then going forward, he wants to run the case the same way he's been running. He's very outspoken. He wants to say how he feels, and he usually doesn't cut any cards. So like he said a cuss word on the steps of the courthouse. We're talking about stuff. He said someone's BS, but he didn't say BS. He said it out. And 3 other attorneys claimed that they work at the same firm and are witnesses in Bolden's case, so they're out. This is crazy, right? It's crazy. 2 remaining lawyers told the judge that they didn't sign on to take over and that they have other jobs and that they are representing Mosby pro bono, like they wasn't getting paid, and they don't have the support staff, and then they got scheduling conflicts. I mean, it's like a whole bunch of excuses. You ever ask somebody to help you move, and then the day of the move, they're like, "Oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that," and then that's kind of how it is, right? First, you want to be her attorneys, and now they reneging. Mosby called the potential delay unfortunate, which it is. Says that she needs conflict-free counsel. What does this tell me? This tells me that there is some issues with the attorney-client relationship because it's tricky. She's an attorney herself. So I'm sure that she has some ideas on how to defend this thing. Now, she has her ideas. They have their ideas. And if there's a disagreement, then, that kind of stuff can cause confusion. So, but you don't want to say that. So, because then it's going to seem like she's difficult. So she's there, it's kind of weird. But I'm concerned whether she can get a fair trial. She says, Mosby, that I would like this to go as quickly as possible so I can rebuild my life. But I'm in a situation that I'm currently in, right? It is what it is. Ain't a whole lot that she can do about it right now. She wants us to go. She says that she needs independent, conflict-free counsel to represent her. I mean, it is, her right. Mosby says that she understands that she is asking the court to appoint a public defender. I mean, when you think about how high she was and how they have just dumped dirt on her name, it is really sad. It is really sad. This is a case against Baltimore's former top prosecutor. Mosby, of course, was indicted January 2022 on federal charges of perjury when she withdrew money from her deferred compensation accounts, saying that she was facing financial hardships that everybody else faced. All businesses face this because of the COVID-19 pandemic and making false statements on a loan application. Prosecutors said that Mosby lied to avoid paying taxes on the money. So why didn't they charge her with tax evasion? Right? This is just as A. Scott Bolden says, this is BS. This is BS. Unfortunately, she's facing 20 years if convicted on the 4 federal charges that she faces. And when you look at this timeline, when you look at the timeline of the Marilyn Mosby trial, which goes back to March 19th of 2021, where the federal prosecutors began to investigate the personal business and tax records of Nick Mosby and Marilyn Mosby, seeking records dating back to 2014. Interesting, right? And then when we go to where we are now, the hearing to discuss the trial schedule is Friday, this coming Friday. The first day for scheduled jury selection is March the 23rd. And as of now, the trial is scheduled to start March the 27th, 2023. I hope that she can get a fair trial. I hope that she's going to be able to move forward from this BS charges, all of this foolishness, and move on with her life, get things back together, figure out what her next moves are. Definitely. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, onfire-tv.com. Make sure you follow The Diamond K Show, of course, on Facebook, all social media. And if you're on Facebook, click that bell, bell icon, so you can get notified whenever we go live. Now, Baltimore police and Mosby and the police, there was a lot of tension, back and forth tension between the two. Baltimore police have released a surveillance video. This video has suspects in this shooting that happened in West Baltimore, Pennsylvania Avenue area. 2 died in the shooting. Kids were injured in this crash. So yesterday they released some footage. We're not going to show the footage, but this is a still of it. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or On Fire TV, you can see this image. So police releasing this of suspects from the fatal shooting happened over the weekend in Baltimore, just after 6:30 p.m. on Saturday in the 1700 block of Pennsylvania Avenue. Gerald Folks, 43 years old, and Maya Morton, 23 years old, died as a result of their injuries. There were 2 kids in the car with Morton, ages 14 months and 3 years old. They were critically injured after the vehicle crashed into a pole. Sad story here. Sad story. 65-year-old man was standing on Pennsylvania Avenue. He was also shot and taken to a hospital. This is still video, still photo from the video that the police posted. So the Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said that it is unclear if the man and the woman fatally shot were the intended targets. They are not sure about that. Harrison also said that the police believe there were multiple shooters that fired guns in different directions. Oh yeah, this is crazy. Anyone with information, they asked to call 1-866-7 lockup. Those are the suspects that they're looking for. Very sad, as I said, very sad situation, sad case there. Do this. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more after this. Welcome back. You man, Dominic in here. Of course, On Fire TV is an advertiser-supported audio and video network. Get breaking news, podcasts, and TV shows covering topics that are important to our culture. Of course, I'm here weekdays, 6 p.m. Now, the new governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, had his State of the State address. Now, this is his first State of State address. He's been in office for 1 week. I don't remember in my lifetime in Baltimore, in Maryland, a governor to come into office that has more excitement. Like, he has a lot of excitement. The hip hop crowd seems to love him. There was a big party. Like, it was all good. Now, he put a lot of pressure on himself. Of course, talked about in his State of the State address, public service, ending child poverty. Maryland's new governor unveiled his priorities today in this State of the State address. Of course, this is a defining moment for the new governor. He has high expectations. He has declared on several occasions that his administration is going to move fast. It's going to be bold, is going to be fearless, and his speech really revealed his agenda. So far, Wes Moore, the new governor, has announced 2 items. He's committed to putting $30 million towards Keeping Our Heroes Home Act, which expands the military tax exemption to $25,000 a year and increases it to $40,000 the next 2 following years. What this bill does is eliminates the age requirement and makes the tax break available to any military veteran or surviving spouse. Another agenda item allows Maryland National Guard members to be reimbursed for health and dental care. The governor also had a lot to say about his commitment to public service. He says that we're going to execute on this vision. If we are going to make this state work again, we need people willing to serve. We need talented individuals who put the whole before self. The governor said that we need folks like you. So he's coming in with a lot of optimism. He's coming in with a lot of energy. And his first week in office, he made it a priority by creating the cabinet position of the Department of Service and Civil Innovation. So this Department of Service and Civil Innovation, he's going to provide $18 million from his fiscal year 2024 budget over the next 2 years. That's going to fund that department. He wants to establish a paid service year option for all high school graduates that would allow young people to spend a year doing community service work. And so this is some things that he talked about on a campaign trail. And now that he's in office, he's trying to put these things into action. The governor addressed the child poverty in Maryland, saying that no group deserves are helped more than the children of Maryland. I agree with that. The state is currently flush with cash. The state currently, Maryland, has some money. And there's a budget surplus. There's a rainy day fund balance. That they got money. They got money to put to some projects. Maryland has some money. So the governor expressed confidence last week that he will accomplish his ambitious agenda, but he's not going to be reckless. So when we talk about some of the money, the governor's proposed budget provides a roadmap to some of these goals. It's got a $500,000 to fund the blueprint for Maryland's future education plan. Also, we got to figure out about the free pre-K. It's providing another $500,000 for transportation projects. So I'm anxious to see what Governor Moore rolls out with some of these, initiatives. And we need some new stuff happening. We need to get some things in order. And I think that Wes Moore is bringing some new ideas. He's bringing a ton of energy and just a focus on children. When we talk about some of the problems that are happening in the city and in the state and in the country, it starts with these kids. So I'm glad to see that Maryland's new governor is moving things in the right direction. So sad news out of D.C. A subway employee, a transit worker, fatally shot today as a gunman opened fire in multiple locations. I mean, what is going on? We've had so many mass shootings happen just in the month of January. And so this gunman opened fire in several locations. There were a string of random shootings today, killing this DC Metro subway employee and injuring 3 others. The DC worker was fatally shot after trying to intervene when the gunman got into a confrontation with the woman on a subway platform. This happened at the Potomac Avenue station, and his heroism to be recognized. A lot of folks wouldn't get involved, but he got involved, and police said that they believe that the shooter may have been trying to rob this woman. And the executive assistant to the chief of police said that a second employee was able to de-escalate the situation and stop the string of attacks. He suffered minor injuries from the shrapnel from the shooting of the other employees. So it was ricochets off of that. Shooting began on a Metro bus. And as I said, this is in D.C. So the officers eventually found the suspect on the Potomac Avenue Metro station train platform, took him into custody. They don't know the motive for the attack just yet. Weapon was recovered on the train tracks. We definitely have a gun violence problem in America. Of course, we know the story of the 6-year-old shooting the teacher. Like, there's a problem in this country with guns. And unfortunately, it spills over into the places like the Metro. But this is not a Metro specific safety issue. This is an American gun violence issue. And it is becoming increasingly clear over, just day in and day out. Day in and day out, we're seeing things like this. And the solution, I don't know what it is, but we definitely need a solution. We definitely need a solution. Just take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the show after this.
Looking for food that feeds your soul? Hoodfellas Bistro and Catering is your local African-American owned restaurant offering American cuisine. Located across from the courthouse, we offer daily jury specials to reward civic duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.
You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio on Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. You man, Diamond K in here. Of course, today was the funeral for Tyre Nichols. Of course, sad story out of Memphis. Family and friends gathered for this funeral that, of course, was a blend. It was a celebration of life, but also there was outrage over the brutal beating that he endured at the hands of the Memphis police. A lot of heated calls for police reform. Reverend Al Sharpton and VP Harris both delivered passionate speeches calling on Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. This is a broad package of police reforms that includes a national registry for police officers disciplined for misconduct, a ban on no-knock warrants, and many other measures. Tragedies like what happened to 29-year-old Tyre Nichols is something that's definitely going to ignite this fight. We know that 5 Black police officers violently attacked this unarmed motorist, and it is really a sad situation to see. Now, there's been a lot of rumors floating around on the internet about different things, and we'll wait until some more details have been confirmed before I really dive into some of those rumors. But today they celebrated the life of Tyre Nichols, tried to provide some comfort for his family. But I think that the most important thing was serving notice to this nation that reruns of episodes like this, it is not where we need to go. Not where we need to go. And it's so ironic that this happened in Memphis. So ironic. But this is not something that we haven't seen before. Sadly, I think that we're going to see things like this continue. Sad situation. And we talked about the video. The police made the video public, some of the body camera footage. And what I thought was the most damning of the videos that was released was the surveillance video on a pole. Because the police officers, they were just saying things in the body camera, stop resisting, trying to grab the gun, just things that they just say, right? But that video surveillance, that overhead camera showed what was really happening, showed what was really going on. And, some of the things that the officers were saying, just the facts did not match up with that. And, so it's ironic. Video came out quick. The indictments came out quick. The firing of the officers happened pretty quickly. Now, if those had been white officers, would it have come this quick? Would it have come at all? Would the body cameras mysteriously not been working? Would there not have been the surveillance video? There's so many times that has been the case. So that's why I'm asking the question. Now, the fact that these officers were Black does not matter to me one bit. Whether it was white officers, whether it was Spanish officers, whether it was Black officers, this was wrong. Now, depending on the race of the officers, that would definitely have an impact on the justice that we got or did not get. But black officers killing an unarmed citizen, or white officers killing an unarmed citizen is wrong. Is wrong. So I'm anxious to see what they find out as the motives, if there were. I'm anxious to see that. I don't know where this case is going to go, but this is definitely going to ignite something immediately. Now, long term, is it going to have national implications? I don't know. Is it going to have local implications? Stuff in Memphis change? Possibly. I don't know if this is going to affect the nation, but I definitely think that this is going to stir things up in Memphis. But yeah, it's just a sad situation. And the family, his mother and his stepfather and his brother, handling this difficult thing with class. Handling a very, I don't know if I could be as strong as them. All right. I don't know. I don't know if I could be that strong. But these folks in the just in the public eye, dealing with one of the most difficult, one of the most heartbreaking things that you could ever imagine. And they're dealing with it with grace and with class. And I definitely just want to, just salute that family and send them, love and strength and all of that. I watched that video Friday here in the studio, and it just made me angry watching just the way that the officers beat him. It was disgusting. Watching the so-called EMTs not do anything. Just this is like they was at the club or something. Like they was at a lounge. Like they were, just a complete disregard. And I said there are rumors floating around on the internet, right? And let's just pretend that this was personal for some officer. It wasn't personal for all of them, was it? Like nobody had any compassion. Nobody thought or felt anything for this 29-year-old guy that had just been beaten to a pulp. Like, people say the phrase beaten to a pulp, right? And it's just a casual thing that you say, right? It's just, some words. But literally, he was beaten to a pulp right in front of this, the body camera, and in front of, not far from his house. Like that is, so many things about this are disturbing. So many things about this are disturbing. And wait till you hear the defense attorneys for these officers try to make the excuse. Oh, they're going to try to make the excuse. We was in fear for our life. It's going to come out. They're going to say those words. They're going to say we were in fear for our life. We were, we just want to make sure we come home. They're going to say all the same things. All the same things that you hear police officers say after they murder a unarmed citizen. You're gonna hear them say it, and then you're also gonna hear folks say, "Well, y'all worried about the police killing people? What about when regular folks kill people? How come y'all don't get outraged then?" Because you got folks saying that, and we should and are outraged, but it's just the two different levels of outrage, right? Now, I don't think that we should ignore the violence that happens in our streets every day. And I don't ignore it. We talked about earlier the fatal shooting in West Baltimore on Saturday. We talked about that earlier. We talked about in DC, like we talked about, and yes, I'm outraged every time there's loss of life. Every time. In any city in this country. So it's not that we turn our backs when it happens, for folks that are not police officers. It's just that those are high profile situations. But this, by no means are we minimizing the deaths that happen every day in this country. So you got defenders of the police that'll say that. Oh, you worried about this? What about what happened in Chicago? What about what happened in Baltimore? What about what happened? You know what I mean? And we worry about that as well. They're just trying to get you, look over here. Don't look at this. We need to address all of it. We need to address all of it. No guns are made in Baltimore. There's no gun factory here in Baltimore. These guns are coming from a place. These guns are coming from a place. Folks try to act like, they just make that there's a gun factory here in Baltimore. No, them guns come here. And that is by design. That is by design. Do this, take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Diamond K Show after this. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, the Diamond K Show on fire-tv.com. Now, this is a strange thing. Because we have presidents and former presidents, the FBI all up in their house and all that because of classified documents being places that they're not supposed to be. Now, you or me, we have some classified documents. You know what I mean? The repercussions come down. Bam. And these folks are the ones that are supposed to be in charge of our most sensitive things. Kind of ironic, kind of ironic. So you got Trump, you got Biden, you got Pence. All of these folks have had documents, classified nature, in their homes, in their offices, all up by their cars, in their garages. You know what I mean? Like you would have your high school yearbook or something. So the FBI searched Joe Biden's vacation homes in Delaware today. They didn't find any classified documents. I mean, does he deserve a pat on the back? They found documents in some of your other places. Now you got one place that they didn't find anything. Does he want a cookie? Agents did take some handwritten notes and some other material relating to Biden's time as vice president. So there's some old stuff from way back in the day. I don't understand. So the search, which was disclosed by Biden's attorney, was the latest embarrassing moment for a president who has sought to contrast his sensitivity to rule of law that his predecessor, Donald Trump, who was facing a criminal investigation into his handling of classified documents. I don't know about you, but I like my presidents who handle their classified documents correctly. We don't need another Biden presidency. We don't need damn sure don't need another Trump presidency. And I think there's so many reasons how and why we could have this document debacle. So anyway, Biden's attorney lets us know that they're searching. And this is the third for Biden. Home or office shows that this investigation that has simmered quietly was continuing rather than fading away. You probably thought, oh, they done with this part, but they show up at his vacation home and looking through his stuff. Biden says that he was surprised by an earlier records discovery, presumably. Now, is this him hiring sloppy people and having folks just, I don't know, having their way with the documents and then putting it in with his stuff? It's very strange. But Trump and Biden are definitely not the same. While I don't want either one to be president anymore, the way they handled it is different, but it's just messy, right? Messy. So classified documents. So Joe Biden's, I don't know, under 12 or so, top secret. For you or me, it would just take us one document and we jammed up. But Biden has 12, 12 are classified, some top secret. He has been cooperating. Attorneys found and alerted the archives. Now, when you look at Donald Trump, 160 plus secret, 60 top secret. He's under investigation for obstruction. Of course, the documents that he took, right? Biden had some documents from years and years ago. His attorneys find it and they say, hey, we got these documents. You want to come get this stuff. Trump takes all this stuff, so much stuff that the archives are like, look, we're going to need to get them documents back. And Trump's like, what documents? These are my documents. No, nothing to see here. And he's obstructing the investigation. Totally different than Joe Biden. The FBI searches again after the subpoena was ignored. And so there's a total difference between the way Joe Biden has handled this document debacle and the way Donald Trump has handled this document debacle. And a debacle it is. A debacle it is. I don't even know if Joe Biden even knows what's going on. And Trump's just going to lie about anything. I don't know. It's my documents. Yeah, he's going to lie about anything. That's just what he does. We don't need any more of the Biden presidency. We don't need any more of the Trump presidency. We need to just move on from those guys. Let them, live their lives and do their thing. But they don't need to be in charge of any documents, right? I don't think that the family will let them plan the family reunion. So they can't be in charge of the documents. Biden's attorneys revealed last month that he had undertaken this search of the home and it didn't turn up any classified documents. FBI does their search and I don't know. It's funny because Biden was talking cold cash trash about Trump and with the documents, and then now he got his own document situation. And then Pence has his document situation, and they was all talking greasy about Trump. Now Trump's stuff is worse, but it's like you throwing dirt and then you got all this dirt on you. Now you might say I'm not as dirty as he was, and that's true, but you're still dirty nonetheless. And speaking of President Biden says that the COVID-19 emergency is over. It is done. It is a wrap. That's what he says. The COVID-19 emergencies are scheduled to end May the 11th. Biden administration is going to end the national and public health emergencies on May 11th, White House said yesterday. So this is a major step, and this is meant to signal that the crisis era of the pandemic is over. Crisis era is over. Because, some folks, they want to play that pandemic crisis card when it's convenient, right? You want to get them to do some work. Oh, no, crisis, we in a crisis. Oh, but they're going partying. They're going to games. They're going shopping. They're doing all these things, but you want to get them to do some work. It's pandemic, it's crisis. Yeah, well, President Biden says, and the White House says that is a rizzy. It is a wrap. They announced their plans in a statement responding to some House Republican measures aimed at immediately ending the emergency. So they don't want to do that. They think that would cause mass hysteria. So the White House is going to gradually get us there. They're going to gradually get us there. So May the 11th is the end date. And so we're gonna see what happens. Congress has already extended some provisions originally tied to the emergency, including expanding Medicare and high deductible health plan, telehealth access, and hospital at home care, whole gang of stuff. So what's all another thing that's going to happen is that this move is going to fundamentally restructure the federal government's coronavirus response. Some things are going to change. All right, some things are going to change. So I don't know. This action is going to eventually involve shifting responsibility for the distribution of these vaccines and treatment to the private market, and it's going to really put some sprawling flexibilities that were put in place, I guess, almost 3 years ago now. So virtual prescribing of controlled substances used to treat opioid use disorder, some mental health conditions, which was allowed during the emergency, are probably going to be cut off. And, that is just going to probably end. Lifting the health emergency could also mean the abrupt termination of Title 42. This is a health policy that was enacted during the Trump administration and used to shut down the southern border. So that's probably going to come to an end as well. The courts have repeatedly blocked the Biden administration's attempts to end Title 42, most recently with the Supreme Court's decision to temporarily keep the policy in place. So after May the 11th, I'm thinking they're going to shut that down. So the ruling by the higher court isn't expected until June. The White House's move to end it could lead to the case being dismissed altogether. Now, when you talk about timing is very, very interesting. The timing of this announcement comes the same day that the WHO announced that the global health emergency posed by COVID-19 is not over. Right? The WHO says, this ain't over, saying that the number of COVID deaths, low vaccination rates, and the threat of emerging variants is still, a situation. But the White House said, man, we ain't listen to no damn WHO, right? The White House says that they're just going to keep going forward with their plans to end this health emergency. So some folks are still wearing masks, right? Some folks are still wearing masks when they go out. I mean, but some people are not going to want to accept the fact that, I don't know, the White House is ending this emergency, and that's really going to start to change things. I really think that we're on the other side of this. And like I said, folks pick and choose when they want to say that we're still in the pandemic. All right. They pick and choose depending on what they got to do. They pick and choose whether or not they are in the pandemic. I'm just saying. Are you one of those people that flip-flop back and forth between, it's a pandemic between, and then it's not. Make up your mind, fam. All right, let's do this. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back after this. Finish out, talk about Tom Brady. Welcome back. You ready, Dominic K in here. Tom Brady won a record 7 Super Bowls for New England and Tampa, but he is officially retired. Definitely the most successful quarterback in NFL history. One of the greatest athletes in a sports team sports, made his announcement today. Brief video, just under a minute. He said, "Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good." And I think that he should. I think that it's time. He had a disappointing season. Tom Brady had his Washington Wizards moment. When Michael Jordan played for the Washington Wizards for 2 seasons. He had that moment. And I think that he self-reflected and said, I don't have nothing else to prove. I got a big check waiting for me. So he said that he was done. Remember a year ago when he retired, it was in the form of a when he retired. It was a form of a long Instagram post, but about 6 weeks later, he decided to come back for one more run, which was last season. And he won the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago, made the playoffs again this season, but lost in their opener. I don't think that he has anything to be ashamed of. I don't think that he has anything to regret. Of course, Brady's NFL career, just a leader in passing yards, over 89,000 touchdowns, 649. He's the only player to win more than 5 Super Bowls. Has been the MVP of game 5 times. Like he's done his thing. Pro Bowl 15 times. Now, he had a very public end to his 13-year marriage. So that was something that he had to deal with. But it was announced last year that when Brady retires from playing, he would join Fox Sports as a television analyst in a 10-year, $375 million deal. Okay, so, what else does he have to prove? I think he's going to make a great commentator. He's got so much knowledge and insight just to share. So I'm looking forward to this next phase of his career, and I'm sure that he's looking forward to it as well. He can heal up from some injuries and just have some, just bring some normalcy back to his life. So I know that he is looking forward to that. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Miss any episodes of the show, you can check us out on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcast. Just search The Diamond K Show. Of course, I'm going to deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day. Original reporting from across the country. Show is fun. Show is upbeat. But I also got to talk about what's really happening, and I'm going to do it with my, spin, my flair. I could be dramatic sometimes. But I'll also be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. See you guys.